Jesse Eisenberg, it is so cool to meet you.
Thanks a lot, you too.
Welcome to Dublin. Do you actually get to have a look around, or is it literally in and out?
Yeah, the way these work is, you go from city to city promoting the movie, and lucky if you wind up with like 2 hours to walk around. So, but then you end up just seeing some very limited version of the city. So,
how long have you been on this junket tour for?
A long time. Maybe at the end of April, we did around America, and then the movie came out at the end of May, and then we came to England, England first, but then the rest of Europe now.
What's the trick to keeping yourself interested? Because I'm asking you these questions for the first time, but I'm sure you've heard these 1,000 times. How do you make yourself look interested?
It makes you think twice before signing on to a movie, because you don't want you project in a year into the future and having to talk about it and represent it and be an ambassador for it. So you just think twice before signing on to something, because the experience doesn't begin and end with just the making of the movie.
Yeah, and Now You See Me, It's All About Magic, is part of the reason why you took this, because you actually just wanted to find out the tricks to how magic is done.
Yeah, I really was curious about magic, and playing a character that is the greatest magician in the world, which is like my character, gave me kind of license to demand all the knowledge of magic, even magic that I didn't have to do in the movie. I just told the magicians who were working on the movie that I want to know how they did it, so that I can more confidently play my character, which is half true and half just an excuse to learn this stuff.
That is so cool. So how did you prep for this? Some of the stuff was illusions and trickery of cinema, but some of the tricks you had to do yourself. So how do you prep for something like that? And the fact that your character is so intense as well.
I had maybe like a month and a half before we started shooting to practice some of the magic, and then over the course of like a 4-month shooting period, I knew that like at the end of the movie schedule I would have to know a trick, so I would have, that would be like 5 months, so I would kind of schedule these things based on when they were scheduled in the movie. And it is a lot more difficult than I expected, even for a trick that is really just like the flick of a finger, requires kind of weeks and weeks. It took me 4 weeks to learn something and perfect something that is a split-second trick, just because it has to be so perfect, and every kind of the flick of the wrist and every finger has to be exactly in order. So it was more difficult than I expected. And then for some of the really difficult ones, they hired the real experts, and they came in and did it. And then so camera would like cut to my face, and then my hands would be somebody else's hands, but only for a little bit.
So how do you choose your roles? Because your roles the films that you've starred in are so different, fun, interesting. Do you base it on the script, or do you go, wow, look at the cast? Because the cast in this film, like that alone, it helps that the film's really good, but that alone entices us into the cinema. Is that a strong point for you when you're signing up, or did you not even know that you were going to be starring alongside Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman?
Oh, it feels very strange. When I was younger, I just wanted to be like in the ensemble of musicals, and I never thought I would be in a movie. Not that that's better than being in a musical, but I just never thought about a movie ever, and it feels strange. And then I was like the first actor to sign on to this movie, and I never expected them to put together this incredible cast, because it just seemed like too good to be true in a way. And then every month they would call me and tell me who else had agreed to be in it, and I was so surprised. And then you show up to a set and everybody's there, and and then you realize actors want to kind of have the opportunity to play interesting characters, and this script offered so many interesting characters.
So when you do turn up to set and there is Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine and Mark Ruffalo, do you pinch yourself, and is it a great way to actually learn from them, or is it just another day on set?
Yeah, you try to learn from, it's hard to articulate, I think, what you learn from, these people who are really wonderful and more experienced. And I think the best thing you learn is just how to push yourself a little more, because, when you're working with people like that, it just, you kind of push yourself a little more so that you can kind of live up to them. I just worked with Vanessa Redgrave for 5 months, and we did a play every night for 5 months, and it forced me to kind of just step up to the plate every night. And then you just end up practicing pushing yourself, and then it just becomes second nature, and then I guess you just are better for it.
I love that you still do stage plays. Oh. How nerve-wracking is that?
Yeah, that's the most nerve-wracking experience. I mean, this movie was like a really big movie. Now You See Me. It's like a huge movie, and yet I just did a play for 180 people a night, and it was the most nerve-wracking experience I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, because you can't screw up, I guess. You have to constantly, the focus it requires. And then also when you do a play, it's at the end of the day, it's 8 o'clock at night, and so you have the whole day to kind of be terrified, and then you finally have 2 hours of relief, and then, in a movie you could do scenes over and over again, and, especially with a movie like Now You See Me, which was so stylized, so there's so many different camera angles, so, it's a kind of very labored process. It can be almost boring to shoot a movie that's an action movie because there's so many angles to an action sequence, whereas, in a just dialogue-driven movie, there's really just a shot of your face talking, so it's much easier, or much quicker. But in a play, you're going out on stage and the audience is seeing everything you do. It's not being edited. There's no songs underneath. It's so much more exposing, and I write the plays we do, and they're about my life, so it's, if people don't like it, it means they hate so much more about me than just my acting.
We definitely don't hate your acting, and you are such an interesting guy as well, and you have I love that I've said it before, but I love that you choose such different films, and you've got 2 that are coming up now, one with Diane Kruger and Emile Hirsch, and one with Gabrielle Byrne. Can you tell us anything about those 2?
Oh, I didn't even know. I don't even know that they're...
IMDb.com.
Oh, really? Oh, it's on there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, these are movies I've been signed on to for a while, and they try. What happens, as an actor, you sign on to several movies, and then they try to get the, money for it.
Yeah.
If they're independent movies, and sometimes it takes years. So actually, I've signed on to one of those movies you mentioned 4 years ago, and it's just kind of trying to. And they're great. They're wonderful and should be made, and I'm sure they would be great. And when they came out, people would love them. But it's some uphill battle for some of these movies, as opposed to a movie like Now You See Me, which is a much more kind of commercially driven movie. It's a very kind of exciting thriller movie, so those are a little easier to kind of get off the ground initially.
Well, you can see Now You See Me now, and I can't wait for those other 2 movies. Jesse Eisenberg, thank you so much for spending time with me.
Yeah, thank you.